morning, guys, and welcome to part one of what I'm going to call the Hyperbusa killer. I believe Colt calls this Killshot. So, this bike came to us via delivery service as a completely assembled bike, short of the plenum, but it was not built yet. He was mocking everything up, cutting body panels, making it look pretty. Now we take over with the make it mechanically pretty. The parts that no one's going to see, that's what we get to do. So, this is a, I believe, 22 Suzuki Hayabusa. It is going to have a Motorhead built motor, so currently got the cases and everything off, getting drilled for half-inch head studs. It is going to be a 1400cc simple street build motor. Nothing big, not 1441, 1400cc. With a good ported head, cams. I can't give you all the details, but a good motor. Okay, so this thing should be making in the neighborhood of 200 and change on motor. I'd really be happy with somewhere around like 210, 215 on motor would be nice, because then the math is out nice. That would be optimal. It is going to be a moderate compression motor, so not low compression 9-to-1, not high compression 12-to-1. I think we're going to wind up somewhere really close to 11-to-1. This is a Max ECU bike with Greg Smith's standalone adapter. This is the Boost by Smith Gen 3 adapter. CAN bus, communicates with the factory cluster. All the factory bells and whistles and features work. I'm sure if I power this on, it'll actually power on. Yeah, it should. He does, as you can see, have the custom gauge. This shows ethanol percentage here, boost up here in this quarter, lambda up there in that quarter, and pressure, whether it be oil pressure, fuel pressure, whatever he wants to assign it to. I believe those are the only two we have. We could probably assign it to dome pressure if we wanted to. We got a check engine light. Yeah, I kind of expected that. But those are in the different modes. You switch modes, it switches what this reads out. It's also got the 250 mile per hour speedometer, which is accurately calibrated. It has an ignition switch delete as well. CO2 for the shifter and boost control, although I do believe we're just going quick shifter on this for now. We are going to probably be revising the catch can underneath, just for tire clearance. So something to keep in mind when you get into a bike at this level. This tire may have that much clearance right now, but at 220, 230, 240 mile an hour, it doesn't. The hope for this bike is that it can bury that speedometer fairly easily. 250 mile per hour should be pretty achievable with this bike. It is laser ride height. It is shorter wheelbase for land speed, 9/10 racing, whatever you want to run it in. It is not a drag bike. I repeat, it is not a drag bike. This is a street bike. This bike is fully configured for street use. So you can ride it anywhere, go run land speed, ride it home, without having to reconfigure every friggin' thing. So the goal for this bike is to be able to not just hang with, but outrun either of the Hyperbusas in a standing mile, standing half mile, 9/10 roll. Don't care about their drag racing. That's one niche and it has no market. Drag racing's a dying sport. As much as I love it, it is a dying sport. So we focus our primary on these turbos on street, being able to ride it every day, commute, get good economy, so on and so forth, have a nice smooth ride. That one even has cruise control still. And still be able to go out and say you want to go to Bonneville, run Bonneville. Say you want to go down to Texas, run the mile, go run the mile. Or if you want to go down to Florida, go down to the airstrip attacks and run 9/10, go ahead. Okay, but we do still build drag bikes as well. That's just a quick rundown on where we're at on that. So as soon as the cases come back, Dennis can start building the motor. About that time, the cams should be back. We have a set of cams out at Megacycle getting a custom grind. Once the motor's in, this should go fairly quickly. It is an RCC turbo kit with their new merge collector. It's a V-band full merge header. Zoner rotor, I believe, if I remember right, this is a 55 millimeter zoner rotor. It is quite the nice setup. It does have a Hey, whose clutch is this? Why am I freaking spacing it? I'll update you in the next video if I remember. Or I might remember in this one. I don't remember. Hayes! Hey, look at that. I remembered. It's Tim Hayes clutch. It's a convertible clutch. Set up live right now. And it will live live pretty much all its life. But yeah, this is a very nice setup. I do love this header. Like I said, full merge. You can see daylight through there. Very well welded and ported. This makes it so slick to put the turbo on. That whole turbo unit goes on and off in one bolt. So, just slicker than shit. Don't like the kickstand. His choice, not ours. The Brox kickstands for these are not a good kickstand option. They tip over in dirt, they tip over in grass, they sink into asphalt. Imagine taking and cutting the foot off of your kickstand. Just taking and chopping the foot off and sharpening it to a point. That's a Brox kickstand. It's got solid lowering links. We're probably going to go to a window link so we have more adjustability, because this thing needs to be tuned for optimal suspension operations. The suspension needs to maintain load at all times, not unload, not upset, and having the appropriate ride height and swing arm angle is critical to that. We're also waiting for the rear brakes to come back in. We got to get those put back on there. But right now, we're waiting. We need to order a brushless external fuel pump. We found a really nice one that'll work just fine, 650 liter per hour. And we can do a fuel system. The amount of carbon on this bike is almost excessive. The under nose panels, the plastic black ones, cheap cheesy, yeah, they're carbon. They're actually heavier than stock. But anyway, that's what we got on that. There's your first update on the Gen 3 known as Killshot, aka the Hyperbusa killer. Later, guys.